Good evening, IL family, and happy Monday. It's Coach Timiel / Lady Timiel here, and I want to welcome you guys back into our Inclination Life broadcast here where we focus on positive living via simple truths. And so tonight's topic is the courage to continue. And I thought about this topic because I'm at a place in my life where I am re-energizing myself. Some people probably don't believe that in the positions that I'm in sometimes, and just being an encourager, that oftentimes encouragers need encouragement. Encouragers need sometimes to remind themselves to keep going as well. And so I wanted to come on tonight and I wanted to talk to you about the courage to continue. And this is because a lot of times we on our journey towards things, we need something to relight the fire in us. We need something to ignite that thing in us, that passion that is on the inside of us. Because a lot of times the things that we're working on and we're going towards, if we be honest, it is a journey. It is not something that is going to happen overnight. I was listening to someone, and I wish I could remember so I could give them credit, but they were talking about how when we see things, when we see people that we call successes, that all we see is the success. We don't see the years that it took, the failures, the tries, the errors. I was watching a show on last night, and it was featuring a woman that had done a lot of entrepreneurs, and they talked about their failures. They talked about the things that they had been through. They talked about the things that they had seen. But one thing that it reminded me of is having the courage to continue. Even I listened to one of them who had faced a very terrible situation and had actually decided that she was going to give up. But it was people that came in and said, no, you don't let any situation steal your thunder. And because of that, she continued. And we get to see the success, but it's always pitfalls. And so the thing about it is, most of the time when we are in our successes in life, and I'm not just talking about in business or on your job or if you're in ministry and you have a lot of supporters, but I'm talking about in your everyday life, because some of us, the dreams that we have, they may be dreams that the entire world never actually gives us credit for or sees, but at the end of the day, it is still a dream. It is still a passion that God has given to us. And so therefore, when it gets to that place of success, there's going to be people around you that are going to, cheer you on. But the hard part is when you're on the journey and it seems like you're on the journey by yourself, even though you know you're not. It just seems like you're on the journey by yourself. And so a lot of times we need something to light our fire. We need something to encourage us again. We need something to tell us that we can keep on going. We need something on tonight. I put here that keep when our momentum is slowing. We need something that can just say, that's behind us, that says, keep going. In this season, you may be going a little slower. In this season, it may be a little bit harder, but keep going. And then the last thing I put here is something very simple. Don't quit. And so when I looked at the word dream, it's talking about a series of thoughts, images, and sensations that we have. Now, they said in our sleep, but see, I'm a firm believer that dreaming just doesn't happen just when you sleep. Sometimes dreaming can happen right when you're sitting in your chair and you catch a vision, you catch a hold of something, and you have to say, God, what is that? What is that thing that I just saw? What is that you just showed me doing? And like today, I'm not doing that. And how in the world am I supposed to get there? But when that thing ignites in you, and especially when not only when you can see it and then you believe it, that does something for you. And most of us, it's in that moment that we get this excitement about of what it is that I'm going to do, what it is that I'm going to be a part of. And so I put here, it doesn't just have to be a daydream, but there's some things that we have to do in order to see some things manifested in our life. And so the thing about dreaming is it's beautiful when it's all up here, because we need it to start in the brain. Like if your thought life is not right, you can forget it. Like you have to have it. You have to place it in your head and believe it. But dream has to go to plan, and then plan has to go to action, and then action leads to manifestation. So you have to get it in your head, and then you actually have to begin to look for how to plan the thing out through and by the Holy Spirit. I say even when you're working on things, there's not much. You've heard me say this before, that someone has never done in life. Most of the things that we're going to do in life, even if you are somebody that, does something great for your generation, you're likely going to be building off of something that someone else already created. As I was even saying this, I was thinking about when, I believe it's Thomas Edison who created the light bulb. And I said, well, even he built off of something, because God was the first creator of light, because he said, let there be light. So we all are building off of something that is already there. So in saying that, I want you to have the courage to continue. Sometimes the courage to continue just comes by you finding somebody out there that's doing something very similar to what it is that you want to do. It may be, look, something as simple. Your dream in life may be as simple as, I want to see my children saved. I want to see my children living before the Lord, living things out. Now, somebody may say that's not a dream. That is a dream. That is a dream for some people. That is a passion for some people, that they want to see their family saved, that they want to see their children walking in the places that they believe that God has called them to be. And so they may spend their lifetime sowing into their family in that place, because somebody's got to do that on tonight. And so everybody is not going to be the entrepreneur or the person that starts the ministry or the nonprofit. But there's some great people out here that are going to be the people that will minister in their families. They're going to be the people that they may never get behind a pulpit, but the word that they give in the presence of their family and their children is going to be something that transforms and changes lives. And so that's a dream. But even in that, we've got to have the courage to continue, because when we don't see what it is that we're believing God for, oftentimes we will give up. And so we need something that will help us to push the momentum on tonight. And so I put here, I remember Dr. Martin Luther King. I was thinking about his speech when he said, I have a dream. And when he said, I have a dream, it didn't stop with that statement. He followed that thing up with what he had a dream, what he had envisioned, what God has shown him that could be. Now, he put his all in there. He sacrificed to the point of death, but his dream came to fruition. His dream of seeing people of all races and creeds and nationalities and seeing some degree of equality in this United States, it came to pass. And that's why I'm saying, your dream, you may not be that person that's standing in front of the forefront of everybody else, but whatever it is that God is giving you on tonight, I don't want you to lose the courage to be able to continue. I don't want you to lose the fight that you have in you to carry out what it is that when you sat there and God placed that thing in your heart, when you saw yourself in that place, when you saw those things happening, that you don't give up at it. And I put here, where have you seen yourself? Where has God shown you? Where has God shown you operating in life? I have to reiterate this on tonight. Everybody may not minister to thousands of people, but you may be the person in life that touches 2 or 3 children that nobody is looking at, that nobody is paying any attention to. Do you know that is just as powerful as reaching thousands, as reaching hundreds, as being the person that reaches millions, as being the person that everyone knew in life? Do you know how powerful? How many testimonies have you heard of people that have went on to do great things, and whenever they begin to get up and they give their accolades, oftentimes they talk about that teacher, or they talk about that person that was in their church, or that person, that neighbor, or that person that was in that group, that YMCA program, or that girl on Boys and Girls Club program, that was the one that somehow seemed to gravitate towards them when everybody else turned their back on them. Don't minimize what it is that God has for you to do on the night. Have the courage to continue to carry out the work that it is that He has given you. And then I said, what have you seen, and what's your role in what you have seen? And then I said, we must see it before it is to be. You got to see it before it is to be. Now, you know that is faith, because you've got to see it before it is to become to be. You got to visualize yourself operating in whatever place that is before it actually becomes to be, because if you don't believe it, you're not going to walk towards it. You're not going to have the fuel to keep on going. You're going to have a toil all your life. Have you ever met somebody that had a call on their life, but they were constantly looking for confirmation from every single place? And so they spent their life looking for confirmation, looking for people to say, yeah, go ahead and do that. Yeah, you need to get out of that. Instead of just standing on what God has shown them in the first place and carrying out whatever it is. Let me tell you something. When God shows you what it is that you need to do, don't look for the stars and the skies and the lights to go off. Guess what? God may speak to you in the quietest of time and tell you to minister. And I still have to say, some of the most special ministering, some of the most special service that we do on this earth is not in the eyes of a crowd. A lot of times it's in what we do on one-on-one. It is in the people that we get to touch and we get to talk to one-on-one. Those conversations, those prayers, those let me check on you. Those are the things that make the biggest difference in life. But please have the courage to continue. I keep saying that on tonight. And so with that being said, I said we must stay the course. Starting may seem hard, but the journey is harder. And so with that being said on tonight, starting may seem hard. It's just like your dream may be just to get healthy, made to be in overall total health in your mind, in your body, in your spirit. That may be the dream, that may be the vision for your life on today. And so even in doing something like that, it may seem so hard. If you are not in the habit of doing the things that it's going to take to get you to that place, it may seem so hard. But the thing about it is, what's harder is actually continuing on the journey. We think getting started is hard, but that's not the hard part. The hard part is being able to continue, because the thing about courage is it has to stand in the face of opposition. It has to stand when things come our way that don't make walking on that journey as easy. And so with that being said on tonight, I want us to remember to have that kind of courage. And so believe it or not, I put giving in is the easy way out. A lot of times we throw up our hands when things get hard. A lot of times, especially when we're getting prepared to do something and we're going through those processes, those things that are molding us and shaping us and preparing us for what it is that we've got to do. Even if it is just you are that token person in your family that's going to stand on God's word, that alone is a lot of pressure, because when you realize that you are the one that has been picked out by God to be the one that stand in the midst of your family when it seems like everybody else is doing what they want to do, and God says, no, I need somebody to stand on my word. I need somebody to declare my word. I need somebody to show that you can live this life according to how I said that you should live it. And I need somebody to show them what abundant living looks like. When that is you, that is a lot of pressure on you. And a lot of times you want to give in and you want to throw your hands up because you want to say, God, they're not getting it. God is not affecting them. God is not doing anything. But I want to tell you on tonight, giving up is the easy way out, because giving up, we do that because of fear. We do it because of laziness, because we don't want to put the energy and the effort in that it takes. We do that because we make a lot of excuses. Remember on tonight, you got the courage to continue just because you're not doing it out of your own power. You're doing it out of the power that comes from God. You're doing it from your inner strength. And so even on the days that it gets hard, you've got the gas to keep going, but you've got to recognize that all you got to do is tap in, and you will have the courage to continue. And so I put here, it takes courage to keep going, to believe in spite of. And then I put here, it's one thing to be trying and another to be idle or stuck. So there are going to be times when you are going towards whatever it is that you're going towards, and it's going to get a little rough. The road may get a little rough, but it's one thing to slow down. It's one thing to, I don't really know what to do here, guys, so I'm waiting for you, but I'm moving a little inches and I'm trying to hear what you're saying through the spirit. But it's a whole nother thing to become so idle that you get stuck in a place that you're not moving, because we serve a God that wants us to continue to move it. He's about forward movement. And so sometimes that may slow down to just a pace, but the idea is that you keep moving. And so that's why I said the courage to continue, because continuing is an ongoing action. And then I said Find some things that we can do on tonight to make sure that we continue, that we have the courage to continue. The number one thing I put here, I said, is find a source of continued encouragement. That can be your word. That can be people. Most of you're on social media tonight. Most of us are on social media, and there are plenty of people out here that are giving out beautiful, God-given, spirit-filled encouragement. Find a source of encouragement. Find a source that you trust. Find a source that you're led to, so that on the day when you're ready to give, you might open your phone and that be the day that they pop up with the thing that it is that you need to see. Find sources of encouragement that you can surround yourself with. Now, we all know that everybody can't handle what it is that God has for you to do. And so this is not about you going and shouting to the rooftop that this is what I'm going to do, because we've got to learn how to work in silence. So in saying that, we've got to have the right people around us if we're going to use them as a source of encouragement, that when they see us, you want those people that are so in tune that even when you're not talking to them, that they actually still, because they're hearing from God, that you cross their mind, that God says, okay, that person that you are accountable, that you all are accountability partners, they need you right now. It might be a prayer. I had a sister, one of my good sisters, send me a message on the phone, and it was a prayer about something that she had no clue that I'm praying about, but it was right in line with what I've been praying about. But I was getting a little distracted because I was thinking on other things. So God reminded me through that you know what your prayer is, you know what you're listening for, you know what you're looking for. Don't get clouded by everything that is around you. But when the right people are around you and they are connected to God, they'll have the word if God needs to send it through them, if he needs to send it through them. And oftentimes he will. And then I put here, keep it in your face. And so this means whatever that God wants, that whatever that thing is, I don't care if it's a healthy lifestyle, seeing your family saved, doing whatever ministry, doing a nonprofit, helping out children, helping out the elderly, whatever it is, there's so many things that God has for us to do, but whatever it is, keep it in your face. I don't care if you got to write it on a vision board, put it on the wall of your cell phone, put it on your mirror, put it in your car, wherever it is, keep that thing in your face to remind you that this is what we're going to. This is the thing that I am working towards. Because when it's not in your face, guess what? A lot of other things are in your face. So keep it in your face. And the last thing that I want to say, as I've said all throughout this conversation on tonight, a lot of times when we talk about dreams, we're looking for the big thing. And that may not be you on tonight. You may not be that person with a ginormous dream according to how man weighs out dreams. But whatever it is that is in your heart and that you're believing God for, I believe that there is no size in it. It is all about you believing God for whatever he's telling you that is the dream for your life, the thing that he is going to manifest in your life. Because if he showed it to you, then he was saying, I'm going to manifest this in your life if you'll follow my plan, if you'll follow my steps, if you'll hear me when I talk to you. So in saying that on tonight, I want to encourage you that whatever it is that you have for your life, I want you to put it in your face, believe God for it, and most of all on tonight, have the courage to continue. When it gets hard, have the courage to continue. Find it. Tap into the inside of you, because you've got everything that you need on the inside of you. So I hope that this has been encouraging to you. I believe there's some people that really, so you may have some people in your life you can share this message with. There's some people that are giving out of gas and they need to just be reminded, just have the courage to continue. You got it. And as I always say, you got it because God's got you. So don't worry about it. Just have the courage to continue on and continue walking towards what it is that God has for you. So I hope you've enjoyed this conversation on tonight. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting IL. And I hope you'll tune in with me next week as we have another conversation about positive living via simple truths. Have a good night, everybody.